All right. Hey, Alan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good. You're
Good.
looking so bright and sunny.
Are you bragging about being in Florida again? We all know you're in Florida.
No, no, no. I'm talking about you.
Oh,
You're looking so bright.
yeah. Well, hey, it's Wednesday. Miracle Wednesday.
Miracle Wednesday. There we go.
So we've been getting a lot of questions about should I list now or should I wait? And you had a couple of tips and things for sellers to think about for listing now. What have you got?
Yeah, so I'm just going to share my screen here because I have some really interesting information. So there's several organizations that have provided some very good data. So it's not just us, although we think that our market is going to be really very active and a great year for 2022, but so do a lot of organizations. So, mortgage rates obviously affect what goes on here. And if you look at this, you can kind of see that the mortgage rates are looking to go up a little bit. So if you look at sort of that yellow line across there, that's sort of the average of what everybody believes that's going to happen, or what's happening today, rather, that yellow line. So the average that they're saying in 2022 is probably about 3.5. And you
Which
can
is
see where
up,
we
but
are
it's still
today.
low.
Yeah, it's very low when you look at the other years, and
What was your first mortgage? Do you remember the interest
my
rate
first
there?
mortgage was 18%.
Oh my God. What
You
year
see,
was that?
you see where the 1980s are
Yeah.
there? It was 12.7% average. Yeah,
Wow.
I got 18%. I was surprised that the average was that low because 18%, we thought had just gotten a great deal.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah.
That's
So look at
crazy.
that. I mean, it's just amazing that the interest rates still continue to be.
And they've been pretty low because my first house, I want to say, was like maybe 12-ish years ago, and it was 4.25, which
Yeah.
was a good rate back then too.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's kind of falls right in line with, the 2010s. You're about 4%.
Well, and one of the, I think, myths is that, or things that people don't really think about, is even though the prices are higher, right? Like the actual prices are higher, because the interest rates are so low, you're actually paying, not only paying less per month than if it was a lower price and a higher interest rate, but you're also, every time you make a payment, you're paying more in principal every month. So it's a
Exactly.
better scenario, depending on the math and the numbers, right? Oftentimes it's a better scenario to pay a little bit higher because the interest rate is so low, rather than waiting for it to come, the prices to come down, but the interest rates increase. So it's just
hmm
kind of like a matter of what you think is going to happen.
Yep, no, I agree completely. So it kind of looking down a little further. So the home price forecast, you can
Hmm.
see the average of all the organizations that are predicting is
Hmm.
about 5.1%. So you can kind of get an idea of, those organizations that have predicted those: Fannie Mae, Fannie Mac, the Mortgage Buyers Association is the MBA. So that it's interesting to see what, that it's about, 5.1% for home prices. So we're still
Yeah. So for every
continuing.
100,000, you're looking at a 5%, 5,000. Is that right? Yeah, 5,000 increase.
Mhm.
300,000
Yeah,
dollars home, you're looking at $15,000 more.
correct, correct. And then if you look at home sales projected, you can see what, again, these organizations predict. You can see what the forecast was in 2021 as opposed to 2022. Each of those organizations are, roughly 6.5 to 7.3%
Mhm.
is the, what the kind of the high and low. But that, yeah, all of them are predicting at least the same or a little bit better. Fannie Mae is the only one that's just a little slightly below, but all of them are pretty much the same or a little bit more. So
So
that's
if people are thinking about like selling now versus the spring, what is your advice?
It's interesting because it's always been sort of this
Myth.
myth and based on, numbers that spring is always the best time. But everyone, all of these organizations are saying winter is really going to be different. COVID and the pandemic has changed everything in our
Right.
lives. And we know that. And we know that there were many people who have this sort of pent up demand for buying houses. They've been in their house, they've been quarantined, they've realized they want to do something different in their lives. So the pandemic has really changed the way people are living as well. They're changing their environments. And so we believe that this winter is really going to be a strong selling season for selling your house. So where we would have maybe held off until spring because that's where everybody felt like that was the strongest time, it's really not the case anymore. So that's at
Definitely
least that's
did.
what the predictions are.
Yeah, it definitely did change a lot too. I think also too, everybody's situation is a little bit different, right?
Yes.
So the best thing to do is really, in my opinion, is to like talk to you because you'll consult based on their specific situation. Because when they sell, where are they going to move, right? And we have some strategies depending on what their plans are. A lot of people are, like you said, everything's changed. So maybe they need more space, maybe they need less space, maybe, I mean, it just depends. So if people do want to consult with you, talk to you, find out what their home is worth, figure out some strategies that they can do in order to sell, and then what they want to do next, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Text 513-646-1488 or call either one of those. Those are probably the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Or come to Florida,
Or come
visit.
to Florida. My happy spot.
Exactly, exactly. All right. Well, thanks, Alan.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.